In this video, guys, we're going to look at using a custom indicator to trade multi-time frame RSIs. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. If you're a subscriber, appreciate your support, but you may have seen a video where I've talked about using the RSI or stochastic, same kind of thing, really giving us the same overbought or oversold condition on a higher time frame, and then using that to trade a lower time frame. So if you're oversold on a lower time frame, anytime we go overbought or we go some sort of high swing in the RSI on a lower time frame, we look for shorts, because we look for a trending market that stays oversold or overbought for a long time. Any kind of fades away from it we see as pullbacks on a lower time frame. Now, I found a really nice indicator. A guy called Chris Moody has created this indicator free on TradingView. If you don't have TradingView but you have the ability to code something, I'm sure you could get TradingView, a free one. Look at the source code for it. There's the source code, in fact. So Chris Moody, a shout out to him for doing this piece of code. Found it on TradingView. There it is. If you're a kind of guy who wants to kind of cut and paste that, and I assume you should be okay using it on MT4 or whatever. But anyway, the point of it is, if I'm trading and I'm looking to get on the end of a trend move, now on a daily chart, the RSI, if we're in a downtrend, is going to be oversold. Okay, the stochastics are going to be oversold. Any oscillator will be oversold. CCI. Heavily trend moves, they indicate generally that we have that, and a lot of people try and fade that, but we know that actually we want to ride the trend, but we don't want to chase it. So what we do is we go to a lower time frame, like an hourly, like a 15-minute, and we look for retracements in that oscillator on our lower time frame chart. So this custom indicator plots two things, and let me bring up the code here. You've got your length of your RSI, so 14. Overbought condition is anything above 70. Oversold 20. That's standard settings, all pretty good. A midline, I like having a midline in. I've got that on. Just for clutter-free purposes, I've unchecked these boxes. Now, you want to keep current chart resolution, because that's showing us, the blue line is showing us the current RSI on a 14 period setting. So just like we were an hourly chart, if we have an RSI on, that's what that's showing us. What's interesting is we can now have a second RSI on a different time frame. So we check the box that says second RSI and we select a daily. And now this one is going to be in this kind of orangey color. And so we've now got this beautiful little chart on the or indicator, should I say, on the lower half, that's showing us in orange the overbought or oversold of position of the RSI on the daily time frame, and the blue showing us the position of the RSI on the time frame we've got on the chart, in this case 60 minutes. So for that strategy we have, where if the RSI is trending lower, it's moving down, we have a downward drive, we have momentum shifting down, we have a downtrend. On a lower time frame like the 60-minute, we want to short any movements above the midline on the RSI. So we want to be shorting here, we want to be shorting here, we want to be shorting here, here, that kind of thing. And look how easy and clean it is to see that on the chart. So you can see, yes, we're shorting. That's not a bad spot to be shorting. I'm not going to accurately do it here, but we're roughly within the range. You can see how good this is. Here we're shorting. That's a nice little area here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Nice little area to go short. Here we don't think we've got stopped out on that, but regardless, we're still on that. That's a nice drive lower. Here again, we just about poke over a good little position. Here again, we get a good position here, etc. You get the point. There's a few stop outs along the way. I haven't seen any on this example, but there are some if you kind of extrapolate it out. But the point is, this is a nice visual way of seeing what your daily RSI is doing, or what your higher time frame. Maybe you're trading off a 1-minute chart and a 15-minute RSI. It doesn't matter. The point is it plots both, so you can see how it changes, right? So you can see how let me get back into the pen, off the pen mode. you can see how, as RSI starts to perhaps go into oversold condition, we're selling it short, we're selling it short again. It's giving us a good guide as when we want to hit this thing short, and the same obviously if it's an uptrend going long. Yes, okay, from time to time we're going to get stopped out as it starts to look as if perhaps there's a sentiment change here. We'd be stopped out shorting it. At some point you are going to, but as then we push back into oversold territory, the game's back on. You get the short as you go above the midline on our 60-minute RSI setting on 14, same again, and this one probably a stop out here. You get the point. So very visual, very easy to see what's happening, and actually you can kind of see how the RSI changes sentiment and changes trend, which is really, really cool, because it saves you looking at your daily chart and looking at it as if it's a completely separate chart, because often we look at a chart and go, okay, that's a daily, that's great, we're sloping down on the RSI, etc, 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 we're looking at whatever it may be, but we don't sometimes push that into the parallel world of the lower time frame that we're actually executing on. So this little tool, and shout out again to the chap who's coded this, very useful, is a handy visual way of executing that type of trade where you're fading moves against the trend and using them as pullback positions to get involved with the trend. So finding that sweet spot. Now, would you want to be smacking it short every time it goes above the midline? Probably not. But you could add a filter that says, okay, when we see that, and I think there might be a setting in this that allows you to do that. If not, very easy to probably code up. When we're above that midline, then change and have that as an area where I can do business on the short side. I definitely don't want to do business on the long side. Again, you're just giving yourself extra layers of edge. You're filtering the process a little bit to align yourself with the trend. It's saying, hey, I'm aligning myself with the bigger trend because my RSI is sloping down on the daily, and now I'm trying to align myself with the short-term trend because the short-term trend has gone against the big-term trend and long-term trend, and I'm hoping that's going to unwind and the bigger pressure from the higher time frame is going to push down on it. Where's the area? It's going to be about here. Let me hit it at that point. So great little tool. Go and have a play around with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's an interesting one. Nice that this guy has shared it. Again, we'll give him some credit for that. But it's on TradingView. Go and check it out. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Whatever you do, keep the risk managed. There's no holy grail. Everything we talk about is just trying to find a little bit of an extra edge, a little bit of an extra strategy, add to the strategy, build the strategy, implement it in the right conditions, and we'll have something. All right, take care. Bye-bye.